Hey guys, so today we're going to be talking about forces. Okay, forces are against each other, so there's usually two. There is a push and a pull. Okay, so for instance, here I have my trusty lorry and I'm going to pull, and as I'm pulling they work in pairs, so there's also a force working against the lorry. Okay, so I'm pulling it, here it comes, and it's a little bit tricky. There is a force that's pushing against it as I'm pulling, and that force is friction, okay? It's the type of surface that it's on, causing it to move slower or faster, okay? So here it is again. If I had this lorry and it was on some sand, for instance, it would be very, very tricky to pull. And in fact, it might be that as you're pulling it, the force is so great, okay, that it stops it from moving. So your forces are equal. So your pull is equal to that of the sand working against it. A bit like if in a car you're pulling your brake on. Okay, forces are really interesting, okay, they're all around us. For instance, if I throw a ball up in the air, it will land, and here it is, just looking for it. If I throw it up, it will land and it will come straight back down to earth, and that's because here on earth, the force is pulling us down. If I jump, I'm not going to disappear off into space, sadly. If I jump, I will come straight back down because I'm very heavy, and that's just what will happen. Okay, and the same with the ball, no matter how high I throw it, it will come back to earth. Now to stop that, if I really didn't want this ball to come back down, I can make it slower by putting a big parachute on it, and that way I'm covering a surface area. So that way, it's really important that there's some sort of air resistance. There's a bit of an upthrust happening. So if I threw this ball up and it had a parachute, it would open up and the surface area would bring it down really, really slowly. So if I throw it up again and there was a parachute, it would come down and it would be very, very slow. But it would still come down because the force is still there. Okay, I can just make it that little bit slower. Okay, up on the moon, however, here we have Buzz Lightyear.
Take cover. I'll protect you with my laser.
Okay, here's Buzz Lightyear. Yeah, I'm having great fun, aren't I? Okay, so this is Buzz Lightyear, and let's just say he's gone off to Mars or the moon. The moon, for instance. The moon's a good one. Okay, so on the moon, it is a weightless environment, okay? There is no gravity, okay? Gravity is a good key word for children. There's gravity here on Earth pulling us down, but on the moon, there is no gravity, which means that when Buzz Lightyear walks, he is bouncing everywhere. He could actually, if he wasn't really trying very, very hard and using a special suit, he would literally just float off into the atmosphere. Okay, he would be completely weightless. Right, good old Buzz Lightyear. Thank you very much, Buzz Lightyear, for your help. Okay, so you can do so much with forces in the garden and having fun with the children. For instance, you can make some boats. This one's a paper one, but you might want to make them out of different materials. You can go out into maybe the water tray or the paddling pool, or maybe even in the bath. You can test them out of bottles, water bottles and things that have been cleaned out. Fill them with different things and see if there is a slight bit of water resistance when you're pulling them or pushing them through the water. Would it make a difference if you make a bigger or smaller sail on? Gosh, it's just reminded me at summer camp a long time ago, some of my friends will remember this, we made some massive boats out of the 2-litre bottles, and we tried it with different sails, and then we used a fan to try and blow them across the swimming pool that we had in leisure. Okay, so there's so much that you can do to show water resistance, and like I said, with the parachute you could work on upthrust, and there's lots of keywords there, isn't there? We've got gravity, upthrust, friction, air resistance, water resistance, and that's just by having a bit of fun and playing and investigating. Okay, you could easily put these things out in the garden or even just look around like I have. I was thinking about pulls, pulling kitchen drawers open. That's what I was doing, as I was looking for different things to do. And I've also got one of my children's toys to pull and stretch. Why is it? What stops you from breaking it? Could you break it? If you did break it, does that mean that your force is stronger than that that's working against you? Okay, because they're working together. Okay, last but not least, here I have a ramp. You can make one of your own, but this is my child's ramp. Okay, and we've got cars of different shapes and sizes with different treads on the wheels, but we've also got the grass underneath. I don't know whether you can see all the grass, but we've got lots of grass as our landing at the moment. You could change different surfaces, change different heights of ramps, and see what it would be to let the cars down. Do I push it? Do I do a big push? If I do that, it might go flying off, or do I just let it roll down the ramp very slowly? Okay, I don't know whether you can see any of those, so I'm going to use the bigger vehicle. Okay, and how far it might go. You might want to measure it. Might want to have fun just investigating and seeing what surface it may run faster on. And that will explain why in Formula One on a racetrack, when it gets wet, they change their tyres to generate a little bit more friction. That means more grab so they can get through the water. Or a swimmer, if they're swimming, sometimes they need more propulsion with their leg kick, or maybe the more streamlined they are, the faster and quicker they are. And you've got to think about the amount of drag on them, the amount of friction. They wear different swimming costumes. The tighter the fit, the better the fit, the more streamlined they are, the quicker they are. And it's the same with surfaces, okay? And children need to explore and just enjoy that, really. So much you can do. I'm just looking around the garden now. There's so many different surfaces. You've got gravel, sand. You could try a tug of war out in the garden with some of the family members on one side and you guys on the other, so they could see that there's might be a pulling action both sides, but there's forces both sides. And if they're even, you won't go very far, but if one of you's stronger and the force is stronger, you're going to move them. Okay, forces. Go and have some fun. We'll do some investigating tomorrow. Okay, some proper science investigations laid out properly like they do in school. Okay, go and have some fun. Thanks. Bye.